Kia ora and welcome to Constellations and All That. I'm your host, Tracy Cartwright, and we will be chatting with facilitators and clients from around the globe, hearing about constellations from all perspectives and anything else that might want to pop into the field while we're sharing. I hope you enjoy this series as much as I have enjoyed creating it. So sit back and enjoy. Who am I? I'm Tracy Cartwright. I'm the youngest daughter of Harold Campbell and Kay Bennett, and I come from a little village in the Waikato called Horatu. I am a wife, a mother, and a grandmother. I am a dream weaver, a drum maker, an artist, family constellation facilitator and trainer, and I'm passionate about this work. I am the founder of Cosmic Mama Cacao. Today I'm going to share with you why I wanted to create this podcast, what Family Constellations is, or my description of what Family Constellations is, because as facilitators, we'll all have a different way to describe it. So why did I want to start this podcast? I really would like Family Constellations to become more into people's awareness, for more people to hear about it, and for it to be the go-to thing for people to find easily. So the more facilitators, the more awareness that we have around constellation work, the easier it is for people to access good facilitators and finding safe ways to healing. For me, Family Constellations has been a huge, huge part in my healing process. And this podcast felt like the easiest way to get it out there. I love listening to podcasts when I drive in the car or if I'm being creative, maybe even sometimes when I'm cooking. So I hope that you will receive as much of the blessings from this work, from these conversations, and enjoy it as much as I have enjoyed creating it. So family constellations, when I describe it as it's a way of finding what's hidden, what the hidden dynamics behind an issue in our life. And what are we entangled with? What are we carrying for our ancestors? And what's behind the repeated patterns or the addiction or the broken relationships, the depression, the anxiety. So it's a way of finding what we can't see with our rational minds, but it's more of a felt experience, and we're all energetic beings, so we can be very entangled within our family system. Some people are very enmeshed in many, many layers, and some just carry a few. So family constellations, for me, I describe it also as it's ancient. It comes from the people of our fires. You know, we all go back to the indigenous beginnings of our roots. And in some way, shape, or form, this work has been done, has been received. It's been brought through in the 80s by a man called Bert Hellinger in Germany. And he spent time in Africa with the Zulus, and the Zulus were remembering, they kept this wisdom alive. So he was able to bring it through in a more modern understanding with psychology and other modalities that he had studied, along with his deep connection to God. Some would call it source or the divine. For Bert Hellinger, family constellations he would have called it answering a prayer, or we would call it a download these days. And it's a combination, but basically I refer to it as Bob. It's belonging, order, and balance. When we find what or who belongs, who's missing. So what belongs in our family system or who belongs in our family system. And ultimately, everybody belongs. So whether there was a miscarriage, a stillborn, or termination, someone who was adopted out, a mad Uncle Jack that, you know, he did some real crazy stuff and nobody wants to own him in the family or give him a space in the family. Well, the fact is that our family soul has a memory and everybody in that belongs. So belonging, order, the order in which we come in the family. So like the hierarchy. So the father and the mother come first, and then the eldest child down to the youngest child. Now, if there's a sibling missing, whether it was that sibling was adopted out or miscarried or died at infancy and was never spoken about. That creates a hole in our family system. So it's around giving everybody their place and and being in the right order. So you might grow up thinking you're number one when actually you're number two because there was a sibling before you. Or in my case, I grew up thinking I was number four, that I was the fourth child and I was the youngest. And yes, I am the youngest, but I'm actually the sixth child. There were two babies lost in the middle in my family system. So that makes me number six in my field, which is a completely different energy and has brought so much ease and resolution within my family system. So belonging and order and then balance. So when we have belonging and order, we can find the balance. There's the balance of give and take. How much is given and how much is taken. Children, our natural birthright is to take from our parents and for our parents to give. And sometimes that's out of balance, where, for example, maybe mum has had a trauma when she was 3 years old. And even though she grows up to be an adult, she might still revert back to at times being that 3-year-old who feels incapable of doing things. And so as a child, you grow up and you parentify your parents. You become the parent to them in many ways. So that's putting things out of balance, that the order of flow there and the balance of give and take. So in constellations, we would find the healing sentences, the healing movements, and allow for things to come back into balance and then finding peace. And once we've got the belonging, the order and the balance, we can find peace within our system. And we can take in life, fully take in life, and we can say yes to what's there. Thank you for listening. Head over to Instagram and tell me what's resonated for you with this episode. You'll find me at tracy.cartwright. That's Tracy with no E. Cartwright, or head over to my website, tracycartwright.co.nz, and receive a free audio with the gift from your ancestors. So until next time, be kind to yourself and have fun doing it.